Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about the difference between knowledge and wisdom. So when you think about a lot of people, they obviously we all gather knowledge from birth, right? And we know our language, um, we know how to speak, we know what a dog is, we know what a cat is. That's all knowledge. We know that the difference between fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. But knowledge is just information, right? With meaning. Some meaning has been assigned to it. But wisdom is extremely different. So knowledge is to have the information, and wisdom is the way you apply the information. So what I find is that a lot of people have a difficult time first understanding the difference between the two, and secondly, understanding how to take knowledge and apply it and when to apply it. So I'm working on a technology project right now, and I'm working with some idiots. And a particular idiot, and specifically, is I'm noticing that, remember, we're all idiots initially, right? We all mediocre, probably. We become mediocre at some point, and then we become experts, and that's understood. But the problem is when the stupid doesn't know they're stupid. They think they know it all. So then what they're doing is they're taking snippets of knowledge, like you shouldn't share private information, PII, personally identifiable information from a cybersecurity perspective. You shouldn't share that in a file via email. You shouldn't send it and post it because it's privacy. There's some regulatory compliance regarding that, et cetera, et cetera. So explaining this information, having the knowledge of what to share, when to share, methods of sharing information, that's the easy part. You would think that people have common sense that says, how do I apply this? Well, if I know that I shouldn't share it in unsafe manner, and I've been told that I need to password protect things, make sure that channels of communication are protected, but you take a file with thousands of students' data with dates of births and such, of minor and non-minor information, personally identifiable information, you share it via email as an attached document, that shows you didn't get it. You're missing the whole point, right? And so how do you help people make those very standard connections, brain connections, neuron firing between here's the knowledge and here's how I apply it? You would think if we're talking about it and we give examples, the application is not there. And yes, it's not everybody. Some people are really smart and they catch on. And if not, they ask really good questions and they take it away and they apply it. But others run with doing rather than slowing down, understanding it, asking the questions, and then uh, distilling it, making sense of it, and then applying it, right? And we want to make sure that folks like this that are not, they're not aware of how to do it properly. You want to make sure that they don't run and apply things because they're going to apply it incorrectly. If they don't have the capability to connect the neurons, then they're going to miss the point. Like this example I just gave you with the file in email. You want to make sure that you don't put them in tables, you don't put them in lanes on a project where they're going to screw things up, right? You want to taper uh, them being a possible risk, right? Rather than because of their role or because of their title. And by the way, I'll do a whole video about titles. Is completely wrong. And so now they've become a risk to the corporation, right? And you can communicate this, but then it has to do more with um, political correctness, right? No, let them still be on the project, let them still be there, and they're still just as important to approve things, even though they don't get it. They don't get it. They're not able to connect it. They don't have what I call common fucking sense, as Generation X has. Generation X, and I'm of course generalizing and totally trolling all the other generations, but Generation X, and of course a lot of other ones, they get it, right? And I don't know why some don't get it. And it's very frustrating because it takes a lot of side weaves to try and get somebody on board and slows down everybody else. So that's just something I wanted to talk about, the difference between knowledge and wisdom and how you apply information. And by the way, when you talk about information, it's not just technology, but the human brain and life in general. you have something called data. So data is just distinct pieces of raw data. 45, uh, black, black, ring. These are all pieces of data. 95, 45, whatever. Those are all pieces of data. Now, they don't have any context. I don't know what 45 means. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about 45 pounds? Are we talking about 45 Fahrenheit? What are we talking about? That's where context comes in. So you have data first, then you have something called information, which is the second layer. And information literally is when you start adding um, context, what I call it context to the pieces of data. So I'm saying 45 is a number, piece of raw data, but it could be anything, it could be ambiguous. Information is it's 45 pounds. So now I've added a measurement, a metric, a way of assigning value, a way of understanding what 45 pounds is. I've given it context. We're talking about weights and measures, 45. Now you're going to move into knowledge. Knowledge is further refinement, further understanding of what that 45 pounds is. So 45 pounds, when applied, because it's knowledge, when applied to a child, if it's a toddler and it weighs 45 pounds, it may be overweight. So now information has changed, right? Or if I say a 45 degrees Kelvin is very different than a 45 degrees Celsius, right? So now the context changed because of information. And then you have, so data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Wisdom is how you apply it. And application means, yes, I know it's 45 degrees, but knowing if it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit is going to be very different how I dress if it's 45 degrees Kelvin, right? Or how I survive. So all those things are important to understanding, and that's things that are basics. Yes, our school system should have taught us that, but they haven't. I mean, that's for a whole different purpose. That was to make you a button pusher, right? Not to make you a thinker. But if you're going to live a good life, if you're going to get the best experience out of this ride, why not learn all these little things? Because it makes a difference to how you capture things, how you process them, and whether you're an idiot or not, right? At work, which is very frustrating to everybody else, myself included. So, yeah, I just wanted to rant because those idiots should be put in a separate lane. But I don't see that happening because of political correctness, toxicity. And so that's making it difficult for everybody else, where everybody else has to sell their soul to get along with you. Whereas natural law would have taken care of you a long time ago. In natural law, you wouldn't have survived, right? So those are some thoughts. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Probably a little bit harsh, maybe a little bit direct. Let me know your thoughts. That's my rant for today.